Well, good morning, all of you. So let's get started with today's class. Uh, what I'll do is we will just complete the last two slides that were left in the previous class and then move on to the new topic, that is inverse trigonometric functions. We saw trigonometric functions, sine, cos, and tan. Today we will see inverse trigonometric functions. All of you please have your calculators with you. So let's get started. Okay. There are two more definitions which we have to learn. That is, one is angle of elevation, the other is angle of depression. This is this particular line indicates the line of your sight. So if your eyes are at this,
We can't see your screen.
give me a second, guys. Let me share screen once again. Okay, we'll start with two of the definitions. That is angle of elevation and angle of depression. The angle of elevation, you get angle of elevation whenever the object is located at a height not at your sight, it's above the height of your sight. So if this is your height, this is your, this is the line where your sight lies. So if you have eyes and this is your uh, line across which, this is called as the baseline across which your eyes are straight. Okay, straight with regards to this particular line. If the object is placed beyond this particular height and you observe it, that then you have an angle of elevation. And if object is placed below this particular line, okay, below this baseline, then you have an angle of depression. Okay, we will just go with the formal definition soon. So just remember, this line is a baseline where it's just parallel to your eyesight, and the object is placed beyond that parallel line, then you have an angle of elevation, and if it's placed below, then you have an angle of depression. Okay, to note down the formal definition, I'll give you like 30 seconds. I'll give you like a minute, and I'll also go over these uh, definition. The angle of elevation to a raised object is an angle between a horizontal line, that's baseline, and your line of sight to the object. Okay, so whenever, if the object is placed here, the line of sight becomes, this particular line becomes a line of sight, and this is the horizontal line or the baseline, and this is your angle of elevation. Okay, the angle of depression to a lowered object is the angle between a horizontal line and your line of sight to the object. The viewer is always on the horizontal line. Okay, the viewer is always on the horizontal line, and the object is placed below. This becomes the line of sight, and with regards to horizontal line, you have an angle of depression. So note of these two real quick. We will see few word problems based on them in the next slide. Then we will go to inverse trigonometric functions. I'll give you like 40 seconds. Let's go to the next slide. Okay. At a point on ground 50 feet from the foot of tree, the angle of elevation to the top of tree is 48 degrees. So let's take this is your tree. Okay, and here I have at the ground. Okay, 50 foot from the, so this particular point is located 50 foot from the base of the tree. It says at a point on the ground 50 foot from the foot of tree. Okay, this is 50. Should be able to convert the sentences into picture in case of these kind of problems of angle of elevation and depression. So this particular distance is 50 foot. It says at a point on the ground 50 feet from the foot of tree. Okay, and what else is given? So the angle of elevation of the top of the tree is 48 degrees. This is your top of the tree, and if I have, okay, this particular angle is 48 degrees. Logger must attach a rope at top of the tree so that they can pull the tree the direction they want the tree to fall. How long must the rope be if they can get the get the rope off to the top of the tree? So they want this particular distance. This is your rope, right? It's being tied at a 50 feet distance from the foot of the tree to the top of the tree. I want this particular distance. This is your right triangle. Once again, this is your right triangle. Just imagine like this. It's your right triangle, and this is 90 degrees. So this becomes hypotenuse. So this is your hypotenuse. Okay, and 40 we have, this is our reference angle. For this reference angle, this is your opposite side, and this is your adjacent side. Okay, the interested sides, we are interested in two sides. That is, one is which is given, that is adjacent. The other one is the side which is the length of the rope, that is hypotenuse. Okay, we are interested in hypotenuse and adjacent. So we use cos 48 degrees because we are interested in hypotenuse when adjacent is given. And the formula for cos of any angle is adjacent divided by hypotenuse. Over hypotenuse. Okay. The next step is substitute whatever was the adjacent value. Adjacent was 50 feet. I don't have the hypotenuse, so just leave it as HYP. Cos 48. Do not simplify here because you will get a rounding error, and so many of you are having trouble, and that's why I have to give extra tip for debrief to it. Do not round here itself. We will just cross multiply. You will have, once I cross multiply, you will get here HYP times cos 48 equals 50. Then dividing by cos 48, I'll get HYP equals 50 divided by cos 48. Okay, and that has to be 48 degrees. Now substitute this in calculator, this whole thing, and make sure your angles is not in radians, it should be in degrees. Then whatever you get answer, round up to third decimal point. Okay. Let me show you in calculator. I am just going to use a Chrome calculator here. I don't have TI calculator app on the laptop, but I will also check in my calculator. Okay, let me check those answers, and you can also simplify this final answer. I'll give you like 30 seconds. Either way, you simplify this in calculator or using Chrome, you'll get 74.724. Should round up to only third decimal point. Should not be any rounding error. And the units were in feet, so this also will be in feet. So the length of the rope that we need is 74.724 feet. Okay, you can write that in sentence. Let's do one more problem. I want you all to try this particular word problem. I'll help you in exactly a minute or so. So get started with this particular problem. Let's go over the solution for this particular problem. Okay, let me take this as my, okay, I have water here, and this is my lighthouse. Okay, maybe I'll make it this. let me take this to be my lighthouse, which is straight. And there is a boat over here. I'm not that good at drawing, but try to give some justice to this. From the top of lighthouse, 160 feet high, so this height is 160 feet. The angle of depression of the boat out at sea is an angle of 24 degrees. So the angle of depression is always from, it's going to go below in this way. So the angle of this particular depression that they are saying. Okay, imagine the boat is over here. This particular angle is 24 degrees. Okay, you'll have different angle of depression for this particular point to this particular point to this. I'm just keeping this as the center of the boat, and it is touching the surface of the water. Okay, find the nearest distance, find the nearest foot, the distance from the boat to the foot of the lighthouse. So I want this particular distance. Okay, I want this particular distance. So if this is 24 degrees, then this becomes the reference angle, and we have a 90 degrees here, so this becomes the hypotenuse. And we have this to be opposite, and this is our adjacent. Okay, let's pick up the two sides which we are interested in this figure. First of all, we are interested in finding the distance from the lighthouse to the boat, so we are interested in this particular opposite side, and we should pick up a side where the one of the side is given. So they have given us adjacent, they have not given hypotenuse, so I'll pick up these two sides, opposite and adjacent. So whenever opposite and adjacent, we know the tan of 24 degrees is opposite over adjacent, right? The formula is opposite over adjacent. I'm just writing it short, OPP over ADJ. Now substitute what is given to us. We don't have the value of opposite, we are interested in that particular value, so keep opposite as is, and this one I have tan 24, and make sure once again don't substitute here, simplify further, final step you can substitute. Adjacent was 160. Okay. Then cross multiply this. So you will get opposite equals 160 times tan 24. So tan 24 degrees times 160 equals opposite. Now use your calculator. Make sure the mode is in degrees if you are using Texas Instrument. Otherwise, if it is in radians, then you'll get wrong answer. So tan 24. Tan 24 degrees times 160. That gives us 71.236. So distance from lighthouse to the boat is from lighthouse to boat is 71.236 feet. Okay, let's move to the next slide. The inverse trigonometric function. Okay, we are starting a new topic. We saw till now trigonometric function, we are saying inverse trigonometric function. We are seeing three inverse trigonometric functions. For example, in this figure we have a triangle ABC and angle A is an acute angle. What is inverse of a tangent? The inverse of a tangent we get whenever we have, if tan A equals x, the tan inverse of x equals measure of angle A. So the inverse trigonometric functions will only give you the angle measures. They will give you the angle measures. Supposing I know that this is 90 degrees, but I don't have these angles. If I have the measures of BC over AC, if I have BC over AC, with reference to angle A, this is your opposite and this is your adjacent. Okay, tan inverse of BC over AC will give you the measure of this particular angle. Same with sine inverse of, so this is your hypotenuse, opposite over hypotenuse. If you do sine inverse of opposite over hypotenuse also, you'll get the same angle. And cos inverse of adjacent over hypotenuse, that is AC over AB, will give you the same angle, measure of angle A. Okay, I'm writing all these opposite adjacent with reference to this particular angle. With reference to B, once again the opposite and adjacent will get flipped, hypotenuse will remain the same. What does inverse of sine say? If I have sine A equals y, then sine inverse of y should be equal to measure of angle A. And inverse of cosine says that if cos of A equals z, then cos inverse of z equals measure of angle A. Okay, you'll get little more clarity on these. This is very important. You'll get more clarity on this when we solve problems. Okay, if in case you want to take a picture or note down, I'll give you like a minute or so, then we will move on to the next slide. Okay, you can note down this. Instead of calling sine inverse, it has one more name. Instead of calling sine inverse, I can also call it as arc sine. So make sure that you note down this also. Instead of calling sine inverse, I can call it as arc sine of x. If I want to tell sine inverse, I can say sine inverse of x, or I can say arc sine of x. Both mean the same. These names are used alternatively, arc sine and sine inverse. Okay, let's go on to the next slide. A 10-meter flagpole casts a shadow of 22 meters long. What is the angle of elevation from the end of the shadow to the sun? Okay, 10-meter flagpole casts a shadow of 22 meters. So if I have a 10 meters flagpole, okay, this is my flagpole, which is 10 meters, and it casts a shadow of 22 meters long. Imagine if this is the shadow of this particular flagpole. What is the angle of elevation from the end of the shadow to the sun? Okay, so they are actually asking us this particular angle of elevation. Why? Because the sun is going to be located in this particular direction. Either they can say from the top, what is the angle of elevation from the top of the pole to the end of the shadow, or they can say from the sun to the end of the shadow. Both are same. Okay, so we can take from this point to this point. This is your angle of elevation, because elevation should be above. So, angle of elevation, and I need to find this particular angle. With reference to this particular angle, I have this to be hypotenuse, writing it short, and this to be adjacent, and this to be once again opposite side. The interested sides in this particular figure are, I've been given these two sides, so these are the ones which I can use to get the angle of elevation. Whenever we want the angle, we will use inverse trigonometric functions. So opposite and adjacent are inverse. Okay, if opposite and adjacent are involved, I'll use tan. tan inverse. I know that tan inverse, if I call this as triangle A, B, C, tan inverse of AC, that is opposite, over adjacent BC will be equal to angle, measure of angle, or measure of angle B. Okay, this is from inverse trigonometric functions. Let's substitute things and get this measure of angle B. So I have tan inverse of AC given to me is 10, BC given to me is 22. Okay. You can directly substitute this particular number in calculator. So on calculator, once again make sure you are in degrees and not in radians. Go to mode of your calculator, Texas Instrument. If you go on to mode, if you scroll down below, you will see there is a normal, float and radian and degrees. You have to highlight on degrees. The blinking highlighter should come on degrees, then you can clear, and you have to use tan inverse of 10 over 22. So there is, to get inverse, you are going to use second and click on tan. There is a button tan on your Texas Instrument calculator, but it is above which there is a blue tan inverse. To get the tan inverse, you have to click on second and the tan button, and then substitute 10 divided by 22 in the bracket. In the parenthesis, you substitute tan inverse of 10 over 22. You will get 24.444. Okay, so the measure of angle B is going to be 24.444 degrees. So the angle of elevation to sun from the end of shadow. Angle of elevation, you have to write final answer in sentence. From end of shadow to sun, Twenty-four point four four degrees. Okay, I hope this is clear. In case you want to see even in Chrome, let's check if it gives the same answer. Just give me a second. I'll just show you that. Okay, let's continue with the next problem. Okay, solving right triangle. The command to solve triangle means to find the lengths of all the three sides and measure of all the three angles. Okay, whenever they tell you solve the right triangle, it doesn't mean that you're just supposed to find one angle or one side. It means that you need to find all the angles, all the missing angles and all the missing sides. In right triangle, we have two tools to find the missing sides, that is trigonometric ratios and the Pythagorean theorem. And we have two tools to find the missing angles, that is triangle sum rule and the inverse trigonometric functions. Okay, we are going to use these tools to find all the missing sides and angles in a right triangle. We will see few problems based on them in the next slide. Solve the triangle they are saying. I'll do the first one, then I'll give you a chance to work on the second one. I will label the second one also for you so that you don't get confused with. So if I call this as triangle A, B, C, you are going to work on the second, I'll work on the first. First, let me get the missing sides. I can get the missing angle very easily. If this is 33 degrees, this is 90 degrees, I can find angle P. Angle P is equal to, measure of angle P equals what? 180 degrees. I'm using triangle sum theorem and I'm going to subtract these two. 180 degrees minus 90 minus 33. So 180 minus 90 minus 33 equals 57 degrees. So this is 57 degrees. So first I found the missing angle. Now let's try the tougher ones, that is missing sides. I have all the angles. This is 57, this is 33, and this is 90 degrees. Now we need to get these two sides. Okay, with reference angle this 33 degrees, with reference to this particular 33 degrees, let me use red. With reference angle of 33 degrees, I have this to be adjacent, this to be hypotenuse, and this to be opposite. Okay, I have, using these two, adjacent and hypotenuse, I can get the value of adjacent. So I can use cos 33. Cos 33 is nothing but adjacent over hypotenuse. And to get the opposite, I can use opposite and hypotenuse because hypotenuse is given to me. So I can say sine 33 degrees. Sine 33 degrees equals opposite over hypotenuse. Okay, let's substitute in each of them separately whatever we have. Here I am interested in finding adjacent, so just keep adjacent as ADJ itself. Hypotenuse was given to me as 18. Keep cos 33 as it is. Okay, then you can cross multiply further. Once if I cross multiply, I get adjacent equals 18 times cos 33. Cos 33 degrees times 18 will give you the value of adjacent. You can once again use your calculator. Make sure the mode is in degrees and not in radians. So cos 33 degrees times 18. If I do that, I get 15.096. So adjacent is 15.096. Let's get the opposite. To get the opposite, I have to use opposite and hypotenuse at side 33, or I can use even the Pythagorean theorem because now I have the adjacent value, but I'll use side 33. Opposite here, I don't have the value for opposite, so keep as is, but I have the value of hypotenuse which is 18 at side 33. So cross multiply once again to get 18 times sine 33 degrees is your opposite. So 18 times sine 33. Instead of cos this time you are doing sine. And that gives us 9.803 degrees. 9.803 degrees. So opposite is okay, 9.803 was this answer, and adjacent which we had was 15.096. Okay, I hope this is clear. Same way, I want you all to try this particular problem. Triangle ABC. I need you to find angle A, then AB and AC. I've solved this particular triangle because I have all the three sides and all the three angles. Same way I need all the three sides and three angles. I'll give you exactly like a minute, then we will go to the next slide. So utilize this time to solve this particular problem here. I'm not showing this because I want you to refer to this and work. But if you want, I can scroll up here. This is your A. Okay, get started. Okay, let's continue. So I had here this as 30 degrees, this as 90 degrees. I can find this as 180 minus 90 minus 30, which gives us 60 degrees, which majority of you had, and that's absolutely right. With reference to 30 degrees, this is your adjacent and this is your opposite and this is your hypotenuse. you have side 30. I did opposite and adjacent. Side 30 degrees is nothing but opposite over hypotenuse. Opposite over, oh, I can't use side 30 because I have not been given the value of hypotenuse. I can use adjacent, opposite over adjacent. So that is tan 30. Let me use tan 30. So in this case, tan 30 degrees equals opposite over adjacent. Substitute once again. The value of opposite I don't know. Keep opposite as is. Adjacent I know is 12. And this is your tan 30. So tan 30 equals opposite over 12. Once again cross multiply to get tan 30 degrees times 12 equals opposite. You can use calculator to get the value of this 12 times tan 30. Make sure mode is once again in degrees. That gives us 6.928. So opposite was nothing but AB. So I can say AB is 6.928. Choose your opposite. Now I am interested in the other side as well. I have adjacent and hypotenuse, so I can use cos 30. So cos 30 equals adjacent over hypotenuse. Now substitute cos 30. No, don't substitute cos 30 notes, but substitute only this part. I have 12, but I don't have the value of hypotenuse. So keep as is. So once again cross multiply this. You will get hypotenuse times cos 30. Okay, these are two different terms, cos 30 and hypotenuse equals 12. I am interested in hypotenuse, so divide by cos 30 on both sides. So I'll get hypotenuse equals 12 divided by cos 30. 12 over cos 30 degrees. Once again substitute that in calculator to get your final answer. 12 divided by cos 30 degrees. 12 divided by cos 30 degrees. That gives us 13.856. Hypotenuse 13.856. Okay. I hope this is clear. So we found AC as 13.856. I'm rewriting here. The stylus is not cooperating to the fullest. Let me rewrite this. 13.856. Okay. I hope these kind of problems are clear. Let's see the next slide. Okay, solve for the triangle. Okay, when they give you two sides and ask you to find the basic sides and angles or solve the triangle, this is easier to find. You don't need anything. You can use actually inverse trigonometric functions to find the angles, but to find the side you don't have to use sine, cos or tan. You can just use Pythagoras theorem and find this NP. So NP is what? NP equals square root of sum of the squares of the other two sides, because this is your hypotenuse. Hypotenuse square equals NP square equals QN square plus QP square. You had NP square equals qn square plus qp square. So you have NP is square root of qn square plus qp square. In place of qn I have 12, so 12 square. In place of qp I have 7, so 7 square. So 12 square plus 7 square, and then you are going to take a square root. Simplify that in calculator. 12 square plus 7 square will give us 193, and taking square root of 193 I have 13.892. So first step I have is NP is 13.892. Okay, NP is 13.892. Okay. With reference to this particular angle N, with reference to this N, this is by opposite and this is by adjacent. Okay, let's find the angle N using these two. I know that tan N is nothing but opposite over adjacent. I'm trying to find the angle N. So further I can say that tan N equals, opposite was what? 7 over 12. To find N, I just have to take inverse. That is N equals, multiply tan inverse on both sides. So tan inverse, if I multiply tan and tan inverse will get crossed out, and N is nothing but tan inverse of 7 over 12. This is from the inverse trigonometric function. Inverse trigonometric function says that if I take the ratios of opposite and adjacent and substitute tan inverse there, tan inverse of opposite over adjacent will give us the angle N. So angle N is tan inverse of 7 over 12. Substitute this particular part in calculator. So once again, make sure you are in degrees. Tan inverse of 7 divided by 12. That gives us 30.256. So measure of angle N equals 30.256 degrees. I have this N. I can find P using sum of angles in a triangle is 180. So angle P, so this is angle N is 30.256. Angle P equals 180 degrees minus, this is angle Q is 90, and this angle N is 30.256. So I get 59.744 as the measure of angle P. Okay. We have solved the triangle because we have all the three sides 7, 12 and NP, which is 13.89. This is 90 and we found angle N to be 30.256 and angle P to be 59.744. So we have solved this particular triangle. I want you all to try this particular problem. It's ABC. So try to solve triangle ABC. Get this particular side and also lengths of also get the angle A and angle C. I'll give you like a couple of minutes. Use your chat once you have the answer. Let's go over the solution for this. So once again I have here AC square equals AB square plus BC square. Let me call this value as X. I substituted this formula. AC was 12 square equals 6 square plus X square, or the BC square. Subtracting 6 square on both sides, I get 12 square minus 6 square equals X square. Taking root on both sides, I have the value of X as square root of 12 square minus 6 square. 12 square minus 6 square. that is 10.392. I get the value of x as 10.392. That is BC is 10.392. Once again, let me take this angle this time as the reference angle. With reference to this is my opposite and this is my adjacent. Right? I have tan C equals opposite over adjacent, that is 6 over 12. So therefore C equals tan inverse of 6 over 12. That is from the definition of inverse trigonometric function. If I have tan x equals some number, then x equals tan inverse of this. That is from definition of tan inverse. So tan inverse of 6 over 12. If I perform that, I get 26.565. I get angle C as 26.565. Angle C equals 26.565 degrees. And I can get the final angle, the missing angle. This is 90. I know angle B is 90 degrees. Angle A is 180 minus these two. Angle A, measure of angle A to be more accurate, is 180 minus 90 degrees minus 26.565. Substitute that in calculator to get the final answer for angle A. 180 minus 90 minus 26.565, which gives us 63.435. So angle A equals 63.435 degrees. Okay, I hope this is clear. So let's go on to the next slide. Okay, I think we have solved enough triangles, but maybe I will leave this over here. We can try to do this later, because I want you all to get started on your uh, I want you all to get started with your homework. Okay, we will get back to the last slide in the next class. So we have like 14 minutes. Homework, these are the problems and these are the page numbers. I'll tell you where to find this particular book. It's a book, it's a reference book which I usually have in class, but you can access this book online as well. Okay, B because of copyright issue, I cannot download and put the book on your hub, or I can't put it even on Teams, but I can share a link where this book can be found. Okay, just look into Teams chat. I'll just share the link there. But I would prefer you all to do a Google search and find the book. I'll tell you how to get that. Just give me a second.